Alright, so it's only been about a month, but the bag has already changed immensely. So, let's give you an update. Throwing putters. Still going with the nodes. I used P2s for a while, but I putting these back in the bag today. Just couldn't get the hang for P2s. So yeah, throwing putters. I have two. I have an AVR3. This is my straight to understable throwing putter. And I have a D-line P2. This is my straight to overstable throwing putter. And when this one beats out, I have another one right here ready to replace it. Approach discs, I bag 4. I have the R Pro Pig, kind of more straight with a slight finish at the end. This thing is basically just a P2, but a little faster and a little more overstable. I can trust this thing in a little bit of a headwind, not too much. If it's a stiff headwind, it will turn over. This can be good for touchy forehand approaches or forehand turnovers, but too much power and it'll just kind of dump. Then I bag 3 zones. My most overstable zone is this Z-Flex zone. I have an ace on this disc. It's pretty sick. Love the way this plastic feels. Love the way this looks. Yeah. My next one is this orange Crystal Flex Get Freaky zone. This is a little bit less overstable. This one feels a lot better for a backhand, and I like to use this one for my approach shots, for like a forehand approach. And then this is my flippiest zone, a Z zone that I wiped the stamp. I can throw this on anhyzer, and if I put it on a lot of Annie, it'll just kind of pan out. It's not gonna kind of get left. And if I throw it on a forehand, it'll flip up to flat, little bit of turn, and then finish right. Yeah, love this thing. If I throw it flat on a backhand, it'll go straight. It'll fly like a zone, just a little bit more beat in. Mid-ranges. I bag 5 mids. Most overstable being this Lucid Justice. This thing just doesn't want to fly. It wants to get left. It wants to get to the ground immediately. I love this thing for either utility shots or anything where I need to get left. Yeah. Next up, the Star Lion. This thing is straight to overstable. It's pretty overstable. I can throw it on a touch of Annie, and it'll kind of flex out at the end. Throw it flat, it'll ride straight, but starting to like forward push left. Next in stability, the C-Line MD3. This is one of my favorite discs in my bag. This is one of the most reliable discs in my bag. I can throw it flat, it'll go straight for a long time with a reliable left finish. Put it on anhyzer, and it'll just kind of sweep over. Next up, this ESP Buzz. This is one of my new favorite discs in my bag. It's a workhorse. This thing goes dead straight, a little bit of turn, a little bit of fade, but it's pretty much just point and shoot. And then Opto Fuse. I absolutely love this disc. It is a great little flip up to flat and then ride right until it gets to the ground. It's not going to come out of it at all, and it's also not going to dump. It'll hold that angle and finish really soft, so it's not going to cut roll or anything like that. And then fairway drivers, I bag a lot. I bag 7 fairway drivers, and I'm going from 7 speed to 9 speed on this, or 6 speed to 9 speed. First up is the Castaplast Cax. This is an overstable 6-speed, but it's a little bit lighter weight, so it'll turn over in a headwind. But I like to put this out on big hyzers where I just need a touch more distance than the MD3 can offer. Next up in speed, 7 speeds, I have 1. This Champion Eagle. This is one of the oldest discs in my bag. It's probably the oldest disc in my bag. One of the first discs I got when I started playing. This thing, it's beat into perfection. It'll go straight with a reliable finish. Put it on hyzer, it'll start to flip up and then finish out. Put it on Annie, and it'll ride and then flex out at the end. Next up, 8 speeds. I have 2 8 speeds. Most overstable is my Ricky Wysocki Champion T-Bird 3. This thing used to be insanely overstable. and that's probably just a mix of it being brand new champion plastic and me having a little noodle arm. But right now I can throw this flat, I can get some turn out of it, and then it'll finish. I can trust this disc to go anywhere up to like 380. Although I have thrown over 430 with this disc, it's pretty great. Understable, this Discmania Zen. This is the Nate Perkins Signature Series Essence. It is an understable 8-speed. It used to be way flippier, but for some reason, as this beat in, it's gotten more stable. Now I can put this on a good bit of hyzer, and I used to worry about it turning over. But unless it's a headwind, I can put this on a lot of hyzer. It'll just flip up and ride straight. It won't really have that much fade. It'll just ride straight till it hits the ground. I love this disc for either big sweeping anhyzers where it'll just kind of pan out. Long distance rollers when I need that stability, and when I need to like get around a corner and then it'll flip up, this disc is money. And then 9 speeds, I throw 3. Most overstable being this Big Z Raptor. This thing used to be the most overstable disc in my bag, but now it's beat in, so it's actually pretty straight. I throw it on forehand and it'll actually get some turn. I need to get either a Crystal Raptor or a Z Raptor or anything a little bit more overstable to fill that kind of overstable fairway driver spot, or very overstable fairway driver. But for right now, this is it. Yeah, it's a Raptor, but just a little bit straighter. It kind of flies more like an Onyx, if we're staying with Discraft, or it flies like a I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty overstable still. Like, but I can put it on anhyzer and it won't really, it'll pan, and if I put it high enough, it'll come out of it, but it won't really have that much give to it. It won't really have that much flex. If I put this high and flat on a forehand, I can get some turn and like max distance forehand for a fairway driver right here. Although I am backhand dominant player, I really only use forehands if they're necessary or for approaches. I really like forehand approaches. That's one of the strongest shots in my game. But most of these discs are in my bag for what they can do on a backhand angle. I prefer a backhand turnover to a long forehand. Yeah, that's just how it is. Next in stability is this Lucid Escape. I'm currently working on beating this one in. It's still pretty stable. The Lucid plastic, I love it. And this is one of the newer discs in my bag. Right now, if I put it on a good bit of hyzer, it'll flip up a little bit and then finish out. I'm hoping to get this one to flip up to flat, have a tiny bit of turn, and then finish out. But right now, if I throw this flat, I'll get that flight where it'll turn and then finish. And then my last fairway driver is this ESP Heat. This was in my bag a while ago, like probably probably like October of last year. This was in my bag. I lost it at Hornet's Nest, and then about 3 weeks ago, a guy found it and mailed it back to me. That's the same with the AVR3. Guy found it and mailed it back to me. Thank God for you. This is the furthest flying disc in my bag right now. Or furthest, like I can get my distance drivers farther, but this is the furthest flying, this is consistently the furthest flying disc in my bag. I can consistently get this disc to about 440 feet, 450 maybe. I put it on some hyzer, it'll flip up, turn a little bit, and then hold that straight with a tiny bit of finish at the end, not that much finish. I thought it would be a lot more understable. I thought it would just be a roller disc when I got it back, because I looked at it and it's 167 to 168 grams, but it's a lot more stable. I don't know if being buried in the leaves at Hornet's Nest for 5 months has done anything to the stability, but it flies amazing. And then going on to distance drivers, I'm counting that as, excuse me, as 10 speed and above. And I have 6 of those, starting off with my DX Beast. This is, actually no, this is the oldest disc in my bag. This and the Eagle. I got those around the same time. I got this probably the first few weeks I started playing. And this used to be my max distance disc. but right now it's my get out of jail free. Everybody needs that super flippy, super understable get out of jail free card. This is a lightweight DX beast. I put today in the field, I put it on hyzer, and it turned over to a roller and rolled about 400 feet. I can put this on an anhyzer, and it'll hold that angle to the ground and start to pan out at the end. I can throw this flat. I can throw this like high on Annie, and it'll barrel roll into a Skamahawk. If I throw this on a grenade, it'll have a thumber flight. It's such a weird disc, but and you don't know that you need it until you're in that pickle where you need that super flippy disc. Patent pending, stretched out from the knee, needs something to just kind of turn over. This is that disc. Next up is my roller disc. This is an ESP Avenger SS. This used to be such a good flyer, but now it's just a little bit too flippy for me, unless it's like a stiff tailwind or a stiff right to left. But I can put this on hyzer and it'll turn all the way over and cut roll, or I can put it flat, cut roll. But if I put this on Annie, it's a perfect roller disc. I love this thing. It's nice. Next up, 11 speeds, this Discmania Mentor. This also used to be the farthest flying disc in my bag about 3-4 months ago. So, but now I can put it on a hyzer and it'll turn over. This is my turnover distance driver. I can put this on a tiny bit of hyzer, it'll flip up, ride, and not really come out of it. Or I can throw that flat and it'll have that little cut roll. But if I put this on Annie, this is my long distance roller disc too. This is a little bit more flippy, a little bit too flippy to use for most air shots unless it's a turnover, but it feels really good in the hand. Discmania's active premium plastic is great. I've always been a big fan of Discmania. I love their plastic. I love their new plastic. The new C-Line MD3 is one of the best feeling discs in my bag. But yeah, I love this Mentor. It's earned a spot in the bag. And yeah, next up is this Star Destroyer. This is a super overstable flat top Saki bought Star Destroyer. I got this at Play It Again Sports for about $13, and I was like, oh, I need that. And it doesn't really it used to not want to fly at all, just wanted to get to the ground. Now I can put this on Annie, and it'll have that nice flex out. I can throw it around 380. I like this for forehand flexes, or if I need like a overstable skip shot, this is that disc. This is just an overstable distance driver, pretty much a staple for anyone in their bag. Everyone, I mean, you know what a Star Destroyer does. Everybody does. Next, one of my favorite discs in my bag. This is my furthest flying disc right now. Like, the Heat is my furthest flying reliable disc, but max distance, this is it. Today I threw this 486. This is a Star Shrike. Thank God I got this disc back. About 3 weeks ago, I threw it in a river. And then while going on the other side of the river to look at a disc that I thought was a Conrad Envy, it was a chewed up dog toy. I looked down and I saw this disc lodged underneath a rock. And I went in the water to go get it. This was 2 days ago, and I got it back. The color's a little faded, but it's still got that pretty iridescent foil. Yeah, love this thing. This will flip up to flat, ride right. It'll have that nice flex. So I put this on a lot of Annie. This will be like my ultra long distance. I've thrown this on a 500-foot roller. But yeah, this is my straight to overstable distance driver. And then Ballista Pro, not my straight to overstable. This is my straight to understable distance driver. Ballista Pro is my straight to overstable distance driver. I love this on flex forehands. That's mainly what I use it for, or distance shots in a headwind. If there's a right to left or a left to right wind, I'll put it on an Annie and it'll flex out. I've thrown this 480, or not 480, like 450. But yeah, I love this disc. I traded for it at a tournament, and I love the way it feels. I love the way it flies, and that Ballista Pro stamp is pretty sick. Let's see, mini, I guess. I use the MVP Glow Mini. It's kind of sick. Anything else in my bag? I always keep a couple towels on me. And I don't have it in here right now, it's over there, but I always have an elbow sleeve in my bag. because I do have elbow problems from climbing so much and for throwing a lot. So whenever I'm throwing any course that requires distance, I always wear that elbow sleeve to make sure that tendonitis doesn't come back. But yeah, that's all that's in my bag right now. It'll probably change in a little bit. It'll probably change in about a week. Yeah, hope you're having fun. Go crush some shit.